What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Ardretti. We back with another one, and I hope you've been good since the last one. Today we have our first Sierra gameplay on the channel, first season 2 gameplay on the channel, and let me tell you guys, season 2 off to a great start, baby. I've been loving what Overwatch has been doing. They've been consistently getting W's from my perspective. And they got dropped another banger in terms of this character here. Now, my initial thoughts, we'll go ahead and get into them. I just want to get the positive out the way, right? And then ultimately, I'm having a good time with the character. I think the character's aesthetic, likeness, everything about her, is just enjoyable. She's like a breath of fresh air, really positive. Fun, smiling character. You know what I mean? She has some mobility. She has a unique weapon. Her kit really kind of synchronizes well. And, I'm interested to see kind of how, when I utilize her more, how what the skill gap will look like. Not just for myself, but, just her as a character, what the skill gap will look like. Things such as that. Being more frequent and just really seeing kind of what the community will make of her and her kit. I think she's a good addition, So in terms of my initial thoughts, I'll be transparent. When I first tried her out, I had some concern, okay? And I haven't necessarily looked at, what all the community is saying about her, but I've seen things, I've seen whispers of people who had a little bit of concern as well, My biggest concern when I first played her was, wow, her primary doesn't seem to do a lot of damage, And when I first used her, of course I was kind of using her as general hit scan, just put your crosshair on the enemy, hold that trigger down, and try to do as much damage as possible, right? And so that's kind of where that perspective was coming from. Just like, man, I feel like I'm not doing quite a lot of damage. I also was thinking like, okay, her little drone, her grapple is kind of short. And those are like my two biggest concerns. Now, after playing her a little bit more, after giving her some time, after utilizing her kit a little bit more, I've come to a few more, different conclusions, I'll say. First and foremost, her primary fire, it is still one of the lackluster parts of her kit. If I had to buff her, I would say give her primary fire a little bit more tighter spread earlier in her magazine. I would also wouldn't mind if they gave it, 1 or 2 more damage. And I may sound crazy, but I wouldn't mind if they gave it a little bit more damage, a little bit more of a tighter spread a little earlier in the mag, just to keep things going. Now, I don't think these changes should necessarily apply, and more so really the damage. Once you hit the right click, right? You hit the right click and you activate the auto aim. I think that's fine as is. I think her strength and difference, compared to other hit scans is when you hit that right click, when you hit that skill shot, you can see it there. You are going to melt anything that's not a tank. You are going to obliterate things. And I think that it's perfectly fine as is. Again, Mercy's in her ult. She can't do anything. Even with tanks, and it's just great. The right click, when you hit that skill shot, it's a really great ability. I really enjoy it. Now, the thing is, it does two things. It's either going to obliterate whatever you auto aim onto, or it's going to force people out of position to take cover immediately, right? And this can open its own types of play styles because let's say you right-click someone, right? You get the auto-aim on them. They're forced to go into cover. You can use your grenade in order to flush them out of that cover. You can use your grapple, throw your drone over them and dive them. So she has, the ability to do those things where typical hit scan may not, right? Which is great. We're all for variety. We got 50-something characters in the game now, and they just continue to do a great job at making the characters unique in their own way. So she has that going for her. Another thing that she has going for her, and this is something that, again, I learned after just kind of giving her more of a chance. You know what I'm saying? Let me continue to try her out and see what we can keep doing. A good way to utilize her is to empty your mag, especially if you find like a tank or something. Is to empty your mag, right-click the enemy, and what that is going to do is going to essentially reload the gun. So you're going to then be able to mag dump them again with the auto aim. And that's kind of like a little bit more of her bread and butter in terms of maximizing her damage potential. Which, again, is something that I had to figure out after I had those contrary, first impressions. So right now, I think that she is in a good space. But when it comes to her primary fire, I do think that she could use a little bit of TLC. And in terms of her grapple, I love the fact that she can throw her grapple out, and she can shift again without having to look at it, mind you. Pull back to her grapple. I think that's great. I think that's amazing. I think that, again, it did something to, make her a bit different. And it's good. The only thing, though, it's very short. And I'm not sure if they made it this way because they were a little bit apprehensive about the strength of it. And they're kind of putting out these characters a little bit underwhelming, in order to slightly micro buff them as opposed to the opposite. But you see the range right there, It's not very far. It's not very long. She does have a perk where you can, I guess, lengthen the grapple in the drone by 25%. I think that should be base kit. I think that she could use a tremendous buff in that regard. There's also a perk that you can get where it gives her essentially a health pack when she uses the repositioning tool, her drone. I may sound crazy, but I would not mind if they gave her that base kit as well. And the reason is this. She can definitively utilize why the screen is black here.
Ready for battle. Never fall.
Okay, we're back. Wasn't sure why that intermission went dark. But what I was saying before the intermission was I would not mind if they gave her a buff to her shift, her drone, by allowing you to just kind of have that extra 25% of length base kit, as well as making the fact that when she grapples, it'll have a health pack in it base kit as well. And the reason is this. Her primary fire is not that great.
No.
And her main strength is her right click. And so, utilizing her right click and along with her shift to take different angles that allow her to maximize that damage. And you see here, I got just entirely too greedy. I thought I had Mercy on me, which is why I was feeling myself a little bit. I don't know where she ended up going. But I wouldn't mind it. I think that we should give that a thought. Let her fly, man. Let her have her identity being, her shift, her right click, and taking angles, Because she can't fight other hit scans like Ash, Emery, even Soldier at range. Somebody with a decent aim, she's not out damaging them because of the spread on her gun. So, she needs to have some type of identity there. And I think that would be great for her. Now, her ultimate is great. She has one of the best ultimates in the game. Like, seriously. That ultimate, I hope they just leave it exactly how it is. It's strong. It activates very fast. It's narrow. It goes in a straight line essentially, and it's just, man, if you pop that ult right, you gonna get you some kills with it. And again, because her primary fire is not that great, she needs a couple toys in her kits, such as a great ult. You know what I mean? So I'm all for it. Overall, I think that she's going to be a character that I continue to play. She's fun. You know, I found a newfound pretty much enjoyment out of just kind of trying different things with her, you know, and working out what works and what doesn't, you know. Again, her strengths, repositioning herself, taking different angles, and maximizing her potential to hit that skill shot. When you're fighting against flyers, you know, if you can hit that skill shot, you are going to be the biggest threat to them. And with Pharah being buffed, you know, you got the Freya's, Pharah, you got Echo, who's great right now. You know what I mean? Juno got a little bit of a nerf, but she's still decent, right? You got Lucio, who's S tier, hard to shoot. You know what I mean? If you can hit that skill shot, you create immense value, and she's just a very hybrid type of hit scan in that regard. And I think that that's a perfect way to utilize her, being, you know, a new member of the cast when we have 50+ characters and multiple other hit scan characters, you know. So, shout out to Overwatch and Blizzard. I think, man, they're doing everything that they can to continue to make this game everything that it should be. I am enjoying myself as always, especially coming into this season, man, and just, you know, after the drive. If you saw my last video, I was kind of talking about how much of a pain this drive was compared to all the other ones that I've done. And I've completed every drive except the very first drive. I wasn't playing the game at the time, but every one after that, even the most recent one, I've completed. And this one was different. I don't know if it's because the game blew up in popularity again. A lot of people returned. A lot of the quick play players. You know, the people who don't play comp, the people who barely play the game, but wants to. I mean, it was a lot. Fresh accounts. I even got my first cheater refund from a match that I lost during this weekend drive. So it just was hectic. It was straight pandemonium. But I loved it. You know, it's almost, you know, one of my favorite things with Overwatch is the day after you finish your drives, and you just know, I'm so glad that I'm done with the drives. I can do what I want. I don't have to touch Overwatch today. And if I do, it's going to be quick play. Because that's me. For sure. I was so happy to go about my day. And when I did play Overwatch, I just ran a couple QPs and was relaxing. But anyway, great start to a season. Quiet as kept. What I'm going to do now is I think that I'm going to use 6v6 as the competitive playlist that I play to literally just fine-tune whatever I'm interested in fine-tuning at the moment, and worry less about my rank. And then when I play 5v5, that's where, you know, I'll kind of utilize that as the grounds to, you know, just really lock in. And not saying that I'm not going to lock in at 6v6. I'm a natural self-motivated competitor. I mean, all I play is comp, so, and everything that I play. So I'm always playing to win. But what I mean by that is I'm playing 6v6 here to learn the new character. You know what I mean? Or any character that I want to learn. Or any whatever focus I may have. Look at this ult. It's just a good ult. Just Q2Q. But yeah, so right now I'm playing 6v6. I'm also the type of player who plays all roles and all the characters. You know what I mean? So 6v6 kind of allows me to just continue to do that. But I'm still a main DPS player. Tank after DPS and support line. You know. But yeah, if anyone is looking for people to play Overwatch with, y'all know I say it in every video. I'm always open and looking for people to play ranked with. I am a solo queuer. Hit me up on Battle.net, man. I play nearly nightly for at least an hour or two. I do play on the weekends when I can. Just looking to create content, man, and keep the ball rolling in the right direction with everything, you know? This is my hobby, but I'm not being a businessman, a husband, a son, family member, brother, etc. You know? So I'm around when I can be. And yeah, let's link up, man. Let's get some games. You know, I am a diamond rank player. For those wondering, no, I'm not top 2% in the entire world in rank 1. You know what I mean? I'm just like everybody else, man. Just continuing to play the game that I enjoy and working to improve every day and having fun while doing it, man. You know what I mean? If you're watching this and you're like, what? This isn't top 500? Stop it, man. It's so many pro players and champion 2, 1 tricks and everything. Everybody can't be there, right? So let's go ahead and look at the game report. Had 9 deaths. That was a bit too much for my liking. But we have 44 elims. By the way, it says new career best. That must be for Sierra specifically because as you see on my channel, I have a 70+ kill game with Malga. Check that out if you haven't saw it. Here's the team game report, 44-9 again, 18.870 damage, you know, leading the lobby in damage with her, who's considered to be a low damage hero. Here's the extra stats, you know, 7 Trailblazer kills, 17 tracking kills, solo kills is 5, 26 final blows with 60% tracking shot accuracy. Good game. With that being said, I appreciate your time, love, energy, and support. Please consider leaving a like, a comment, a subscription, and a hype. And lastly, please consider joining the Discord. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And if you want to run some Overwatch, hit me up. Peace.